Guys, Andrew Neethling here, former World Cup racer, campaigned for 14 years. I was lucky enough to race World Champs back here in Rotorua, and we're here at Crankworx stop number 1. And we're going to take a behind the scenes look at practice and what it takes to get up to speed on a track like this. So we're taking a little bit of a walk down the track here, and that turn right there is going to be crucial because you're going to need to carry so much speed here. This used to be where the pond jump was. So yeah, we've got people like Brooke and Laurie, they're just having a look. You're going to want to carry good speed, maybe do a few hops to smooth it out. And then they've replaced the pond jump, which is pretty famous for Loic falling in it. But this hip jump looks pretty small, but it's going to be 20-30 foot, especially at race pace. When you come down that hill, you're going to be flying and probably squashing this. The top third of this track is all about carrying speed and momentum. These grassy sections are key to pick where to take off and where to land. As you see, there's an off-camber section you've got to hold high. Then there's a bump, and if you're good and you weight it correctly, you can pop into the backside here. And then there's a nice hip takeoff. But at speed, you want to keep it low. You want to get on the ground as early as you can and keep momentum going all the way into the woods. So like I said, let's summarize. This top third is all about carrying speed and momentum. Yeah, but we find it's only one.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
Stop.
Yeah, so we've made our way a little bit down the track, and unfortunately we've seen the bad of downhill racing, and I can personally say I've done that exact thing. You're checking out a track, you're just cruising down, a little bit of hesitation, you think you've braked enough and you haven't, and you go down, not even trying something crazy. So I definitely do not miss that about racing. Alright, so that was Alex Fiolo. He jumped, as you can see, and he landed left of the route, which is a little bit less consequence. It's safer, but the problem is it's tougher to set up to get through those trees to the racing line. So the better way to do it is to jump and land a little bit to the right, but the risk of that is if you land a little bit deep, you just go straight on and you can't get left. So there's a lot of decision making in this section right here. Yeah. And this is how accidents happen. There seems to be a little bit of peer pressure going on here. A little bit of peer pressure. I can't see. These are my course walking shoes. You've got to have the proper attire. Big bollocks over here is telling them how to do the jump, but they don't have any bikes with them.
I would do it if I had a bike.
Oh, we've heard that one before, have we?
Easy.
Just like
he's got that. That's the exact line we spoke about.
He did it exactly how we told him to do it.
So it's basically you taking credit.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, that was the line. He's jumped right of the route so he can set up through the trees. But it takes a lot of commitment. Like I said, the top third is all about commitment, carrying speed. You've got to be aggressive. I think your race strategy is go as hard as you can out the gate. And when you get up here to the upper larches, this is where it gets interesting. This is where you've got to be a little bit more conservative. Line choice is key here. Here we have 3 options. Down the middle, which is probably the trickiest option, but the straightest, and for I believe is the fastest. Then you can also slow up and go left. That's an easy option. You just have to navigate a drop, and then you carry good speed. And there's a little bit of an S-bend where you can go up high here and another drop, but there's a lot of S-ing. So like I said, I feel, and I think most riders are going to go down the middle, which is the most technically difficult line, but the fastest. Then there's also rumors that George Brannigan a few years ago actually jumped from this first drop all the way over the route. I mean, obviously if you can get that right, it'll be the fastest, but that's really, really high risk. Well, we made our way down to the last, because this is the place that gives the riders the most fits. That's Alex, very committed, round the outside. Oh, big mistake there. We've caught action big time here. So there are multiple options here in the larches, especially in the wet. This is such a tricky section. It doesn't look it on camera, but it's very, very steep. And this is where you can really just throw your race away, as you see. So this here, there's quite a fast outside line, which you can see the guys are committed, carrying a lot of speed, but then you've got to break up before that drop, because you want to get inside for the drop, because if you est round the outside, it's going to be way slower. So it's not a bad line because you can be committed, but then you've got to break up and you're going to be going off that drop, off camber, make a mistake like that rider just did. Then the racing line often is committed, but then you've got to really break up here to drop slowly and go inside. So it's the shortest distance, but it's the most challenging line to go break up, go inside over the drop so that you can get a little bit wider, for the ride. Guys, so that's the largest. There's George Brannigan doing the inside to inside. He just nailed that. That is going to be your race line, although it's the most tricky and you need to be the most committed in that. But really, I know when I was racing, it depends what you feel confident on. If you don't feel confident, you're better off going to an easier line and riding that attackingly fast. So riders have done all the hard work till now. They've got through all the difficult sections like the larches, the technical stuff. This is where it's high speed again. We've got this hip jump and they're going to be hard on the pedals through a double. And they're going to navigate maybe 1 or 2 more turns and they've just got to maximize speed and they've got to lay it all on the line. You don't want to conserve any energy. That is done. You've got to just empty the tank. So we've made our way all the way down the track here in Rotorua. This is called Schludders, named after the famous downhill track in Schladming in Austria. And for good measure, it is an amazing open grass section. The riders love it. This year they've opened up 2 lines. So coming out the woods, you can either drop low the original line or you can ride up high. But I think the low line is going to be the straightest line with the least amount of G-outs. And that's one thing on this section that is tough to manage. It's the big G-outs that unsettle the bike. So look at the pace these guys are carrying. Oh, so that's the G-outs that I was talking about. There's a lot of bumps here that unweight the bike. So you've got to really have your wits about you. And that's the bump that's going to cause some issues. And I really think that the high line, hopping from there onto the high inside line is going to be better for your speed. So we've made our way to the bottom of the track. There's an awesome hip as one of the last features. And then it's into some rollers to the finish. Thanks for tuning in. That was a behind the scenes look at what it takes to prepare for this Rotorua Downhill. We're at the Crankworx World Tour stop number 1. The race is on Friday, so tune into pinkbike.com. Join me and Cam McCall for the broadcast.